On this edition of the news, Hasbro Pulse on their website has some concept images of what their Black Series packaging could look like over the years as we transition into Phase 4. In sad news, Aussie Sci-Fi has closed their doors. We'll talk more about that. And thanks to the guys over there at the Hyperspace Vault, they sent me an image of a manifest list of the Gamestop Star Wars figures that are coming soon. And everything's in code, and you guys are going to help me figure out who's on the list. All this and more coming up. Welcome to Usualmike Television once again. Here's another video coming at you. Not as regular as I used to be, but there's some news to talk about. Very interesting stuff. The first thing we'll get into is Hasbro Pulse. Hasbro Pulse put a wonderful article up on their webpage, their site, whatever you want to call it, detailing the history of the Black Series packaging. As we know, we've moved into the next round of packaging, which is, well, not quite. We're not quite there yet. It is going to be Phase 4, and there's some concept pictures that they put on their webpage there, and checked some of those out. Very interesting that they were going to go with multiple colors of designs. The orange came from the X-Wing. Very, very interesting. Had to change the box because of Chewie. I'll leave a link to the full article down below, but it's nice to see some transparency and things that we didn't know anything about. Some of you could have speculated about it, but Hasbro Pulse telling us things like this, it is cool. And thank you, Hasbro, for sharing with the fans. We want this sort of stuff because we want to be, we want to know what's going on. As you do as a Star Wars fan, we're collectors. We want to know what's coming. So officially, from that, the last ever box that we will get in red and black with a number on it, there might be an exclusive down the track after it, but it will be 112. 112 will belong to Kit Fisto. So he'll officially be the last ever number of the black and red boxes. So Mr. Steve Evans, who used to work in the Star Wars division of Hasbro, now he's over doing Power Rangers and other stuff that I don't collect. Put this image up on Instagram. There you go. And in saying that, everyone was like, is that it? Is that it? That's the final number? Goodbye red and black boxes. He left a comment after being asked by commenter DJW121. I'm not going to lie, the red and black was getting a bit tired after 5 years. The new boxes look awesome, and 112 is a very strange number to end on. Mr. Stevie replies, but is it? Oh, that tells me there's more to it. Now, you could say right there 112 and then that's it, because the information we've also had from Hasbro is listing of the Rebels line, where Zeb is going to be number 1 and through to number 7. Then you go on to Empire Strikes Back, and Vader is number 1. So every franchise, I'm not going to say film because this is a film or television, every one of those different ones will start at 1. But we haven't seen the side of the box in all the images of this side of the box. We've seen this side, it's got that, brilliant artwork on it and the color and all that, but we haven't seen that side of the box. And I said this side's straight and this side's angular. Some are saying it's this. Yes, check out this image. Thanks to Jason from Yakface of what the boxes may look like. I want to agree, but then again, I want to disagree. I want to say one has a flat edge on it. Some are saying, no, it's got a wedge edge as well. It's hard to say because you're looking at the box straight on and I don't see the wedge on the other side, so it should be a straight edge. But we will find out all in good time. So with the new collections, everything's beginning with a 1. Unless we know otherwise, we'll fill you in right here. So Aussie Sci-Fi has closed its doors. Here is an image of the website. There's also Facebook pages as well that have Aussie Sci-Fi. I was going to read off the website why they're closing and what's going on, but the Facebook page has closed as well, so I'll just reiterate kind of what was told to me, that they are in a legal battle with Hasbro Australia about availability of stock, and they are not getting that they pay for a license to get exclusives and Hasbro's not offering them to them, and they went around and offered it to another person, well actually another corporation. So the little guys out there who run the stores out there, you might know Bulletproof Villain, who was also recommended. Go over and say hello and check out Bulletproof Villain as well. They've got some Star Wars stuff as well, but most of it is going to a corporation which will remain unnamed. Store has to close. What can I say? In this country, it was like once... I don't even know what I'm going to say. Hopefully in time, we get them back, but for the time being, shop's closed. There you go. I'm very sorry this has happened. I hope everything turns out alright, and hope to hear more from you in the future. Very sad that's happened. So let's move on now to something that might cheer you all up. Hyperspace Vault. My friends over there, Dave and Alex, father and son, sent me an image of a GameStop. Well, sent me several images, but one in particular with some waves of vintage collection figures that happen to be way down the line. So we obviously know right now there should be a wave on the shelf of wave 12, which is Luke Skywalker, C-3PO, Lando Calrissian, and Han Solo Bespin. So that wave should be available now. In August, there is the Power Droid, Clone Commander Wolf, Luke Stormtrooper, and the K2SO. We have seen images of them before, and I'm probably showing them on the screen as we speak. And wave 14 is for August as well, because it's going to go back to back, because one is the brand new stuff. The next one is all the repaints. It's going to contain a repack of Wicket from VC27, Darth Maul VC86, Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars, which is VC92, and VC103, Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars as well, with all the new photoreal decos on the faces. From there we get deep into September. This is late in the year, wave 14. Hondo Anaka from Galaxy's Edge, Thighs from the Clone Wars, Chirrut Imwe from Rogue One, and Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, which we've seen that image for a long time, and it was also on display, already mocked up at Toy Fair as well. So the image that the image on the screen you see here is from GameStop. So all the prices on here that read $12.99 is a vintage collection, and the ones that read $22.99 is the Black Series. The two to the Black Series, if you see up close, SWBL1, which comes out in December, and SWBL3, which comes out in December as well. You can take a stab in the dark of those Black Series figures, because that could be anything. The BL has thrown me for a curveball. I do not know what that is. Usually I can read these codes and understand just a little bit, but that's difficult. So if we go on to the vintage collection stuff, you'll see down the bottom where I'll put my little arrow, all the ones that are September. So you got SWV, which is 5s, SWR1, which is Chirrut Imwe, SWGE1, which is the Galaxy's Edge Hondo, and then it's got the vintage collection Luke Skywalker there, but that says December, which I think that's got to be wrong. It's got to be with that same wave, and that wave is wave 14. Power Droids on there, self-explanatory. Above that you'll see SW Episode 1, a November release, SWCL2, November release, and a CL1 November release, as well as the one SW9, which is a November release as well. We're looking at wave 15, and that there, the only one that really jumps out at me is SW9, will tell me that's episode 9. The CL could be Clone Wars, and the E1 could be episode 1. Hedge your bets and have a guess at who might be on the way. And then in between that you got SWBL, and it's Foa, spelt with an I, which is a code name for a character. That one there says 1st of December. The only one on the list, that would probably fall into a wave 16. Very interesting document. Make what you will of it. It's out there on the internet. Take your guesses. Have a pick. Go nuts. Thor Skywalker, very big YouTuber, many more subscribers than I, does some Star Wars content. Usually it's about the story based and background of Star Wars. Very seldomly mentions the toys. I am a subscriber myself, so I found this video only today, and I thought, wow, I'm going to show a little bit of it because it mentions what we love, action figures. So here it is. The name of the video, I believe, is a sequel trilogy, Is It Abandoned by Lucasfilm and Disney? According to that, what I just read out, with one of them being episode 9 coming up soon as a vintage collection figure. Maybe not, but check out this video and see what you think.
In fact, when we look strictly at just action figures, those aimed primarily at kids and not collectors, Beyond the first wave of figures from the Galaxy of Adventures line that came out in October of last year and had less than a half dozen figures from the Rise of Skywalker in it, Hasbro has not announced any new Star Wars figures from the sequel trilogy for kids. None whatsoever. Compare that to the past when, months after Return of the Jedi or Revenge of the Sith had come out, the two films that ended their respective trilogies, figures continued to be released and took up entire aisles in stores like Toys R Us. Whereas now, not only is Toys R Us gone, but the Star Wars section in your local Walmart or Target is usually pretty pathetically stocked, to put it mildly. And I know what some will say, that kids just don't play with toys as much as they used to, so it's not really any sort of indicator of how successful the sequel trilogy was with them, which is fair enough. For better or worse, kids don't seem to play with toys like action figures as much as they have in the past. But then when we do move to collectors, the generations that grew up playing with and loving action figures and still love them today, and look at the lines aimed more at them, like Black Series and Vintage Collection, well, things don't get much better for the sequels. In total, about 8 Black Series figures were released from the Rise of Skywalker, and 6 for the Vintage Collection, and no announcements of any further figures, not only from that movie, but from any of the sequels, has been made. Which then means 6 months after the trilogy wrapped up, and actually sooner, Hasbro seems to have washed their hands of the sequels because clearly they don't think kids or collectors have much interest in figures from them.
Thank you, Thor, for that. Very interesting to see. A lot of people who watch that aren't collectors, so they see the toys about Galaxies of Adventures and Vintage and Black Series and that, and they don't obviously know as much as we know about collecting. So for normies who don't collect, seeing our stuff is like, that's interesting sort of thing. Let's move on to the last bit of news. I've got some new merch. Hooray! As you know, one of my subscribers mocked me up a vintage card back. It looks fantastic. I also added on top of it, the warnings and the little unpunched thing and the +4. Anyway, I've put it on some merch. Check it out in the link down below. I think it looks pretty cool. That's been me today. Thank you very much. I know it's been very difficult. PlayStation haven't been able to log in to be able to watch all your favorite YouTubers who you subscribe to, so that's very difficult to even watch my videos. I'm sorry about that. I hope it gets fixed soon. And also what's going on in the world is very, very terrible, and I know they always say I didn't really want to bring it up, but if you don't say anything, nothing's going to change. And I just hope that from all this that's going on in the world, we all end up on the right side of history. Let's just say that. I just think that you guys don't really want to hear anything political or ramblings of a madman. Just you come here for your entertainment and your action figures, and that's what I want to give. You just take you away from that bad world that we're in at the moment and enjoy your collection. Enjoy listening to me talk about action figures, whatever it might be. Escapism is what I deliver. And I hope you smash like at the end of the day and watch the videos. Having said that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Usualmike30 or on Instagram at Usualmike Television. If you want to send some fan mail, that's up to you. PO Box 957, Lismore, New South Wales 24880. And if you do want to buy yourself something, there's always my Amazon affiliates. If you don't want to get something off my actual store page, just go through the link down below and go on and buy yourself something nice. And that way, a little bit of commission from whatever you buy comes to the channel, and I can invest in more things like some lighting. Having said that, don't forget to hit subscribe, tap that little bell for notifications, slap a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. All the best.